What's up, guys? It is JZNES back again with another video, and this time I'm really fucking pissed off because we're playing Until Dawn, or we're talking about Until Dawn. I already played it. I don't know why I said that, like this is some kind of Let's Play or something. Yeah, so, spoiler warning, by the way, I guess. I don't know how much I'm going to get into it or whatever, but I just want to say at the very start of this review, this is spoilers, by the way, the very end, this is why I'm angry, this is why I'm pissed off, is because this whole fucking game, right? Sorry, I didn't know how loud this is going to be because I'm used to horror games having fucking atmospheric music. This whole fucking game, all I'm doing is trying to save these people, right? That's the whole game. They could die at any moment kind of thing. That's the whole fucking game, right? That's the gimmick. That's what's going on here. I get all but two of them up to the very fucking end of the game. And then, whoa, okay, this is when everyone just dies at the end or whatever. So that fucking pisses me off. And I know that was preventable, but like, what the fuck? Alright, so I want to talk about something else, alright? This is where we're getting out all the bad parts about the game. This fucking thing, okay, 6-axis is bullshit, alright? You're supposed to, like, just, what, hold the controller like this and don't move it at all? Like, how does that fucking work? The control doesn't pick that up. I literally did nothing with this controller, and the fucking assholes still got my characters, my favorite characters, the only characters that made it to the end. Now, okay, of course, there was one character I didn't really care for that made it to the end or whatever, but I just thought it was funny that she made it to the end and I had to put a bunch of effort in to get her to the end, but god damn it, if not 3 of my fucking characters that I really liked died at the very end of the game. The very end! The last 3 fucking minutes of the game! This is like an 8 to 10 hour game, and the last 3 fucking minutes, these characters just died! This is bullshit! I'm fucking angry about that. I'm really angry. I know I'm laughing and whatever, but that fucking pisses me off. What the fuck? Like, really? I did all of this stuff, all of these quick time events, everything to get me to the very end, and that's when they die. Yeah, alright. For no apparent reason, also, by the way. Because, I mean, other than the motion control bullshit, which is not really motion control, it's motionless control, because they don't want you to move or whatever, but like, who's gonna be doing this the whole time? Who's fucking moving their controller anyway? That's a dumb gimmick. It's stupid. It's really fucking dumb. Just make me press buttons. I was good at that, you know? I'm a seasoned button presser. And I noticed also the pattern of the buttons that they'd make you press was typically triangle, square, circle. But one time it was triangle circle at the very end, and I'm like, okay, thanks for fucking switching it up on me right now at the very end of the fucking game. I don't know if I ever used X at all for that, so whatever. But fuck that shit. The characters die at the end of the fucking game. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. I'm angry. I'm enraged. I can't fucking, like, what is this shit? I get them all the way till the end of the game. They fucking die. Bunch of bullshit. You know what? I heard people say like, oh, I got all the way to the end and nobody died or whatever. This is my first playthrough. I'm like, what the fuck? How the fuck did you get that to happen? You know? What the hell, man? It's like I had 2 people die. And then there was one death. I don't know if it was avoidable or not. So yeah, I don't know about that one, but like I said, spoilers, and this is just for my playthrough, because, fucking, you know, you can have all sorts of different playthroughs. So, the 2 people that died for me before the end were Matt and Jessica, and I made a really stupid decision with Matt to try and take on the fucking, caribou or whatever. That was a really terrible decision, so he fucking just died there. That was bad, but that was probably my worst one. Jessica was a little different. It's like, I really couldn't have done much differently on her. I think her little thing is a little bit bullshit too, because you have to actually take some of the risky routes. But how are you supposed to know that? That's this whole game in a nutshell. How the fuck are you supposed to know, without looking up a guide or a walkthrough or watching a video on it, how to get to the end without anybody dying? And I know you're not supposed to get to the end without anybody dying. The whole point of the game is that people die, and that's, you know, like, that's just part of the gimmick of what's happening here. But it should be more choice-centric, to where your choices your choices are actually meaningful in some sense. It's usually just like go left, go right, take the risky path, take this path. Like, you know, like that's not choices. And life is strange. There's choices that will lead you to a certain outcome, which actually kind of makes sense towards that outcome. It's wholly fucking random here. 90% of the time. You know, okay, like sometimes it's like shoot a thing or don't shoot a thing, and you just kind of have to wait or whatever. It's like, all right. But like 98% of the time there too, you just shoot the thing and that's fine. You just don't shoot the like innocent creatures or axe a caribou. You know, that's the one. Those are the things you don't do. That's obvious, right? But if a Wendigo or something's coming at you, you're gonna fucking shoot it. Of course you're gonna shoot it. I was actually kind of worried in that part when I was going through with Mike in the sanatorium near the end, where like he's only got a double, like a sawed-off shotgun. That's two shells you got, right? And he never reloads, so I don't know how the fuck he pulled that wizardry off, but I know it like is implied that he takes a bunch of ammo with him, but like I was genuinely worried that they were gonna make me like run out of ammo at some point just because I'm shooting all of the enemies. You know, like it's a bunch of bullshit. But no, that didn't end up mattering. It was just the fact that that I randomly that I couldn't get this thing to not move at the end of the game, and then that's why 3 people died. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, like, okay, so Matt died, like, early on. Like, Jessica, too. Obviously, she died, like, earlier than Matt, but, like, I was kind of pissed about that, too, because I was like, she was kind of bitchy a little bit, but, like, you know, her and Mike there, they were pretty good. They were doing good together. That was fine, you know. I was like, all right. You know, she gets to the one part, and she's like, oh, I'm insecure or whatever. It's like, all right, cool. I get it. Like, there's something more to her character there, which I'll never find out about because she's dead. But of course, the one character, I remember this character being one that my friends hated too. Of course, the bitchiest character, Emily. She's the one who made it all the way through the game for me, up until the very fucking end, where she got torched along with fucking Sam. Or, no, not Sam, Ashley. Sam made it out. Sam and Chris were the only 2 to make it out. And I really liked them, but, you know, like, fuck. Like, Jesus Christ. Mike died, too, at the very fucking end. He was my other favorite character, was Mike. It was Mike and Chris were my 2 favorite characters, and Sam was alright. You know, all the characters were pretty good, I'll say. I just thought it was funny to, like, get Emily to the end, because she's so hated amongst my friends, and I even kind of hated her, but it was interesting to see her go through all of the shit she went through, and I think if she had made it out, she probably would have been a better person. Now, I don't know that, because she didn't make it out, she got torched, or whatever, and that was actually my option, was go for the switch, which I didn't know what that was going to do, or save Emily, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to save Emily, but apparently saving Emily would have led to me saving Ashley and saving fucking maybe Mike. I don't know. I think he was dead at that point. I'm not actually sure. I think he died because I wasn't able to have Zen-like non-motion control with my fucking controller here or whatever. Okay, yeah, so that all aside, all right? Like, I know I'm coming out swinging here, and this is all negative stuff here. I actually did really enjoy the game up until the fucking end, which they barely even had an ending. That was another problem, was like, what the fuck? Like, we lead up to all this, and there's barely an ending, and maybe there would have been a better ending if I had fucking got more people out or whatever. I don't know. It's the game presented to me, so. But, so yeah, that kind of pissed me off. But anyway, I liked the game in general. It is pretty basic gameplay wise. You're just going around and searching stuff and finding clues and trying to. It's basically just a cinematic game. Is really the gist of it. The gist of it. Sorry. So yeah, and you're just it's more about the characters and their interactions and stuff. And speaking of the characters, it's like, you know, like they're fine. They're all like really good friends, and they're all just trying to help each other get through the thing, and that's cool. You know, they're not like super deep characters or anything, but they're doing it. They're typical teenagers. They're realistic, I will say, in that sense, but that's not always, that doesn't always make for the best, like, dramatic characters, you know, like, they're definitely not that. They all have their own little, like, problems and quirks and whatever, and, but for the most part, it's just, like, they're just trying to make it through. You know, that's about the extent of their characters there, but there are some, like, tough moments where they kind of have to, I mean, you choose, but you kind of play as all of the characters. And I think that's another really good, good way to go about the game. So yeah, like I did enjoy that. I did enjoy the characters, and I enjoyed, or most of the characters anyway. Enjoyed, you know, playing as each of them and kind of seeing from their perspective, and just getting to go throughout their stories and whatnot. And the locations and the aesthetic and all of that is great, and the graphics are really nice, and you know, it all looks really great. But that really is where it comes down to it, is like sometimes I feel like I'm just playing like a really pretty tech demo of a horror game, like for the PS4 there. They're like, this is what the PS4 can do, like enjoy, you know, kind of thing. So yeah, but I mean, like I enjoyed going through the game and just kind of more so for the story, and just like seeing what kind of crazy crap was gonna happen next, and like what kind of scenarios they'd put me in where I'd have to choose this or that, or like what choices I'd have to make, and this and that. But like on the general like paths to those climactic moments, like the choices are really mundane. And there's a lot of fucking walking that like doesn't go anywhere other than to draw atmosphere and horror, and but it ends up just coming off as kind of boring sometimes. Not that the game is boring. I don't really get bored easily. I mean, I would say fucking um, what is it? Beyond Two Souls. That's a game that bores me. If we're gonna talk about games that bore me, but I don't get bored very easily. I'm pretty generally like fair and interested in video game as a medium. So yeah, I give all games like a pretty equal chance, but a game has to do a lot to kind of bore me. And I'm not saying that this game did bore me, because it didn't. I just noticed that the pacing wasn't always, you know, lightning fast or anything. Not that it needed to be, but I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of sections where you're just a character walking, and especially if another character has died, I assume they would have been there with you to, like, talk to you while you're walking, but you're just dead. The character's dead, and so you're just walking, like, all the time. I mean, you know, like, there's little diversions where you're going to find clues and stuff, but that only does so much to kind of mitigate, you know, I'm on a path and I'm trying to get to the next thing, kind of thing. But all the story beats are interesting, and there's a few twists and whatnot, and those are kind of interesting. And I kind of already knew like one of the big twists going in, about who was like not the villain, but sort of one of many villains. So that's interesting. And yeah, so I appreciate that kind of stuff about the game, all of that. But I had to come out swinging, because that just pissed me off. That was like the first. As soon as the game ended, I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is how this ended? I got all these characters this far, went through all of their journeys, and they can just die, like, right there at the end. Like, I don't like that. I don't think that's fair, you know? I should actively have to, like, really try to kill them at the end. I mean, they should be more resilient at that point, if anything. Like, you think just because I'm not controlling them doesn't mean they can't get out of their own situations and whatnot, because they've gotten through so much so far. Like, that's so dumb. I don't like that at all. Like, that's really dumb to me. So, but in terms of atmosphere and horror and stuff, it's good. And I liked the psychologist guy, or the therapist guy, or whatever you call him, in the middle of each chapter. The game kind of feels like it's trying to be like an episodic thing, like Life is Strange, even though it was like, I'm pretty sure, just released as just a game, you know? But it has like a previously on and stuff. Like, okay, like this is like an 8-hour game, dude. Like I remember what happened, you know. It's like it's not that long, so um so those are kind of intrusive. But the little bits in between levels where you're talking to the guy and making choices about like who you like and um like your fears and stuff and of course it's interesting that I noticed that all of the fears that they like were kind of trying to like ask you about, they're all kind of in the game somewhere. Like one of them was cockroaches, which is not one that I chose, but I still saw those in the game at different spots. Um, but like some of them were like rats and snakes and stuff, and like those were in the game. And um, I wonder if they kind of tailor made it more towards what you chose. Like I chose rats obviously because I don't like rats. I don't like mice. So there were some of those, but I feel like that was just in the game to kind of begin with. Um, and the choices that ended up, what was the other one? Oh, needles or whatever. Like I don't like needles, so that's another one that like there was lots more needle stuff going on there. Maybe it was just there to begin with though. That's kind of my point, is that I saw all these things anyway, and I noticed that those things were still there regardless of what I chose as my fears or whatever. So yeah, like does it really matter at the end of the day? I don't know. Maybe it does actually make a difference, but I feel like all that stuff's just in the game to begin with, and the choice is more so just about whatever you choose or whatever. I know he has stuff on his like desk or whatever to reflect those choices and whatnot, so that's, you know, that's something. But just saying. So, but I liked him, and I liked how he kind of tied into the end of a different character there, and how I liked the game's portrayal of mental illness and traumatic events and whatnot, because the game kind of starts off with some traumatic stuff, like these two sisters die, and then everyone just like thinks they went missing or whatever, and then you know they find out later that they're dead or whatnot. Um, but these end up being the two sisters of this kid, who's Josh, who's like the owner of this secluded lodge up in the like fucking mountains or whatever. Which is, it's funny because like walking around and stuff, the camera angles and the cinematic elements like make it feel very Resident Evil-esque. And there's like some elements of like a Silent Hill sort of thing across with, you know, those walking simulators like Life is Strange and whatnot. I don't know if that's like a offensive term to those kind of games still, but it was in like 2015 when this game came out. Walking simulator was like a bad term for people or whatever. Although Life is Strange came out in 2016, right? Right? Isn't that right? Or is it? It was 2015 as well. I think Before the Storm was 2016. Let me look that up. Pretty sure Life is Strange was 2015 as well. I don't know which one came out first is what I'm trying to say. I don't know who copied who, and I don't think anybody actually copied the other. You know, there was such thing as a walking simulator before all that, so pretty sure it was 2015. Yeah, but anyway, so let's see, 2015. Okay, yeah. I think the game like since it was episodic, it kind of like spilled over into 2016 or something like that. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, so yeah, that's about it. There's not a lot to say about the game. I don't want to spoil a whole bunch of stuff. That I know I said spoilers at the beginning, but that was only about the ending, kind of. Because I just kind of had to get that out. I think it's a good game, and I know this is probably a pretty short review compared to what people are used to from this channel, but overall the game is good. I just don't agree with some of the things like the ending where you can just randomly lose a bunch of people that you got through. And I don't really like the whole staying still thing. I like it as a concept of an idea or whatever, but I still don't really understand how that works or how I was supposed to stay any stiller than I stayed. So what the fuck? Like, and that killing those people at the end like fucking pissed me off, because it's like, what did I do wrong? You know, like fucking explain your motion controls better or something. I don't know. Like, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? Don't move. But it's like, I didn't move. So, like, what the fuck? Like, come on, game. Work with me here. So, yeah. I don't know. I guess some of my favorite characters were, like I said, Mike and Chris and... I guess, like, Ashley and Sam. Those are some of my favorites. Emily was the worst, as we all know, but... I don't know. I found some satisfaction in getting her to the end. I would have liked to have seen her have some kind of redemption arc or something, some Chloe from Miraculous or something redemption arc, and not like that, because then actually it would have backfired on itself in the season 3 finale like it did. But hopefully Chloe gets back on track. We'll see. Anyway, I'm not talking about Miraculous Ladybug. I'm talking about fucking Until Dawn right now. So, yeah, I like the game. It's about what I expected it was gonna be. I'd already seen like a good deal of it before, and I like pretty much blocked a lot of that out of my head because I wasn't really paying attention to it when I saw it before. But I do kind of remember the opening, and I know my friends and I multiple times played through like the first at least like 5 hours of this game or something like that, like because each of them would keep showing it to the next one, and I'm just like, dude, I want to play this at some point. Can we not like do this as a unit, as a group, you know? Like, but we did that anyway, so whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's decent. It's a pretty good horror game. I like it. It definitely is very cinematic, and those elements of it are really cool. It's got nice atmospheric music, and the characters are good and stuff. I don't really agree with like some of the motion control moments, which are very few and far between. The button presses aren't that bad as long as you kind of are expecting them. Like every time I knew that I was climbing something, I knew exactly the sequence, the triangle, square, circle. I knew that was going to keep happening, and I knew it was going to keep asking me to climb or jump, and I'm like, I'm never going to jump, because if I jump, then I'm going to fucking fall off or something, and then that character is going to die, and that's one more character to die and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty good though. I liked it. I'm gonna give it like an 8, just a solid 8. Pretty good horror game. Good horror game for this time of year if you want to play it. I guess I should talk about my cursed legacy with this game for a second, since that's the end of the review. I have been trying to play this game since like 2016 or something, I think, or 2017. I don't know when the fuck I got my PS4. I think it was 2017. But like there was always something that would come up. It was always like another game or something else, or this or that and everything. And then it's like, and then of course all of this is coming back when I'm actually like resolute on playing the game this time. First of all, you know, of course, there's the PS4, all the bullshit. All right, so you got to download the game. All right, cool. Then you gotta, then the game has to update, which was another time. So I downloaded the game, you know, I had it all download the data or whatever it was downloading. All right, cool. And then I came to play it another time and it had to update. All right, update, whatever. And then the system had to update. All right, whatever. And then I left it. So that was like the third time I left it. And then like the next time around, there's another system update. And okay, whatever, fuck. And then the game had to update again. I don't know. It's a bunch of bullshit, man. Like, I tried to play this like a bunch of times, and I just played other games instead because of all of that. I just thought that was kind of funny. This game really didn't want me to play it, and that was probably wise because of the ending or whatnot. But I think it's funny how, because there's like a lot of nods to Resident Evil and stuff too. Like there's Chris, you know, that's a character. But I feel like Mike is more the Chris character, if anything, in this game. Some of the other girl characters are kind of, you know, similar to Jill and whatnot. And I gotta say, like, at the beginning, and this is probably just Emily's fault, but when they were, like, bickering at the beginning, I'm just like, oh my god, are we fucking really doing this? It actually reminded me, because, you know, there's the Wendigos in this game, right? And they don't really get into the... I don't know if this is just, like, specifically... in MLP mythology thing about these Wendigos where they like feed on the hatred and like negative emotions and whatnot, but I thought that might tie into this. I thought that was actually just part of a Wendigo like legend, is that hatred and you know, the opposite of friendship, whatever, you know, like is what makes these things. So when they're arguing at the beginning, I'm like, oh, that's what's gonna draw out the Wendigos, because because all I know is the Wendigos from that show, you know. So, but these aren't those Wendigos. These are fucking horrifying Wendigos compared to those. Those are like regal and majestic unicorn Wendigos. This is like not that at all. These are fucking like decrepit and zombie-like Wendigos. Like, this is a whole different fucking thing. But I just wonder if there's any correlation with those mythologies, or you know, they just made that up for that show or whatever, you know. So, because if that's what was supposed to be happening here, it came off more as zombies than like that kind of Wendigo. I don't know, like I don't know the specific lore behind Wendigos, so like I'm just saying, like, but that was something interesting I just kind of picked up. I thought that was, you know, since my previous knowledge of Wendigos was so limited from like one other source. So, but anyway, yeah, I don't know. There's not much else to say about the game. It's good, and I would recommend it. I just have some minor issues with it and whatnot, but it was definitely worth experiencing. So if you have a PS4, which I think is the only console it's on, because it's like a PlayStation exclusive or whatever, get it, because it's really cheap now, and play it. I mean, this is the time of year you'd want to play it, so go for it, you know, give it a shot. I don't know what else to say. This is JZNES. Keep it classic. Stick around for more reviews, underrated games, and I will see you guys in the next one. JZ out.